Welcome back. This is Sealchan, and this is my Minecraft Alpha 1.0 progressive Longplay. Today, we're going to review what was accomplished in round 16 and look ahead at what is to come in round 17. So, let's go. I've got a list, and I guess since we're here in the mining workshop, might as well start here. Well, as you may know, this mine is still playing out. This first passageway has led on and on and on. And there are other passageways. However, given all my efforts at trying every cavern I could find in Elsie and in Bellevue, I think we just got lucky at this one. But at some point, if we actually finish exploring this, which we may, we'll find out. So, anyway, we'll do a cavern expedition again, of course, in round 17. We concluded our attempts to look for another cavern system, what I call the shallow cavern expedition, which I may not do again. The idea was just to light up the caverns a certain distance down underground to improve spawning on the surface. But I'm not sure if that works the way I would want, or may even work against me if I wanted to walk somewhere at night. And I ended up, in this case, anyway, exploring the entire caverns. There's not another cavern entrance that I haven't already found from here that leads to the surface. In round 16, I built this modest treasury. I keep any items that I have too much of here that are minerals or ingots. This is only here because I wanted to put at least one block of iron. Anyway, it looks okay. Just listening to the music. One thing I forgot to mention in my previous video, and maybe haven't done the best job at trying to explain, is that every block, item, tool should have a distinct purpose and usefulness. Even this leather armor, which I only wear on the surface, and iron armor underground. This stone pressure plate, the iron door, and the stone button. Didn't really have a strong desire or need to use them until I built the treasury. And this gives an extra layer of security, because no hostile mob can press that button on purpose, come through that door, especially creepers, and then blow up and destroy these excess precious materials. Flint is precious if you're out of arrows. So that fulfills my use of these things. Now I do have another use for these in an upcoming build, which may be a couple rounds away. And almost every item, actually just about every item in block, I have made distinct use of in some important way. And that is one of the ways in which I feel like I'm playing the whole game, using every block and every item in some useful, enjoyable way. Okay. Well, let's talk about the deep mine. I'm not going to go there, but let's see if I can find a good spot to talk from. That's the thing. It is getting laborious to walk. Let's just look down here. It's getting laborious to get all the way down to the deep mine layer. It's a long walk, probably not the shortest walk, but as you know, these caverns are twisty and turny. I don't trust I could find my way to there easily in any shorter route. What we did down there, around 16, is a little more slime garden. Well, no, we didn't do any expansion. What we did is we posted signs. These signs tell me of all the riches that we found. I think we have everything except for a skeleton spawner. We have a deep mine, we can mine for diamonds, and a place to go where we have a good chance to understand that slimes will appear. One of our goals, of course, is to gather a stack of slime balls. So every time I go down to the deep mine, I try to do that. That's still a work in progress. That, gold ore, diamond, we're nearly there with gold. All trying to get a stack. That will continue in round 17. Plus, in round 16, I found yet another place where slimes are spawning, so we're going to do a little more digging out to give those slime spawns a place to breathe. Slime chunks, I can't tell where the chunks are, so we don't have coordinates. See, if I hit F3, nothing happens. So, let's see, that takes care of the deep mine. The complex itself. We built a lava quarry. I used the bucket technique to pour obsidian for decorative purposes in a little alcove across from the well. And that was to create a place to store lava from the lava pools that are just outside the deep mining complex. as I've explored the surface, I found more and more places where I want to add lava features. Places as if some natural geologic formation has occurred where lava buried deep underground comes to the surface. Just much like waterfalls, lava seeps, places where the lava oozes from the ground. So I'm hoping to develop that, but I don't want to walk this long and twisty passage every time just to get a couple more buckets of lava, because I may limit myself to how much lava I will carry. Boy, would that be tedious. So I'm going to go ahead and do something that I think is a good idea. Is to go down to the mine, deep mine, pick a room, or build one, and then tunnel straight up. And we'll see where it pops out. That'll be half the fun. And what that'll be is a direct and much faster way to get down to the deep mine to fetch buckets of lava. So, that's coming in the next round. And that'll help us greatly with some of the builds I have planned along the trails on the surface. I think I'm calling it the Deep Mine Mineshaft. Alright, let's go. Looks like it's daytime. Okay, well, we're standing right here. Excuse me. We're standing here on what's really part of the LC Bellevue Trail. I built this, I assumed that my home base might stretch out to here. We had a cactus farm here, after all. That looks like a creeper hole that I never fixed. In around 16, over this trail, so we kind of worked from this end going out to Bellevue. And we finished all that. We put a sign at the border between LC and Bellevue to mark the transition. Just a transition between two spaces. Two spaces to focus on, which has helped kind of break down and add variety. So, one of my goals here is not to get stuck in one place, but to get out and see other places. Anyway, for this round, I want to take where this trail starts and make it go all the way to the home base. Get rid of this street system, because this is really external to the home base now. This is out in the wilds, so to speak. Anyway, maybe restore this landscape. I think we're going to come back and actually put water in here too. So, that may be in a different round. Yeah, so we'll kind of have some fun with this figure out how we want to do this. This could be another pond. We could do anything. But maybe I'll leave it dry. We'll see. So that'll be part of round 17. Okay, let's head over. Trying to figure out where to put my list. I don't have to turn my head so far. Let's head to home base. Oh, that's not going to work. Alright, what's going on here? Yeah, well, in round 16, we added some exterior lighting. I think we lit the place up pretty well. This is definitely a dark spot. So in round 17, I'm going to take another walk through the neighborhood. See if we can't add some additional lighting, just so that when we come through that door, we can be reasonably assured that we're not going to see anyone we don't want to see. Hostile mobs, especially creepers, of course. And round 16 we worked on and achieved gathering a stack of seeds. Farming has been a challenge. I was about ready to give up completely, but I'm going to try one more time, just to wholesale convert this into a wheat farm. See, just walking on this causes it to change. Now I can control or fix the damage that I do. The concern is with other mobs. I believe that if this is all farmland, there will be no mob spawning in here. That may not be correct, but I have not seen it contradicted yet. The farmland will sustain itself, as it seems. And over here, where maybe mobs have not had a chance to wander, there's very little damage. Now, one of the downfalls for me was that I literally sat and watched as a pig walked right through here. So I put this wood block in here just to prevent that. On that side, the water flows out, so I'm not as worried. I could put a wood block in there as well. We can let time tell. It would be great to get our wheat farm going. I have not yet had a piece of bread. Which sounds crazy, right? It's one of your first foods you can get. But according to my system, it's a little more of a challenge, especially in Alpha 1.0. So that'll be exciting in a kind of slow way. See how that turns out in the next round. Since we have a stack of seeds, I'm going to plant. And as we saw in round 16, I harvested one wheat, and it dropped 3 seeds all by itself. So this should be sustainable. Now here's a chicken. He wants to get in there because he knows what's coming. But they can't fly over these. Sorry, guy. You're going to have to swim underwater. And that doesn't usually go well for you guys. We are still working on Getting our stack of reeds, aka sugarcane. Can't even see it from here. Let's talk about that in a minute. I gotta walk out on the port trail anyway. I guess the only other thing to talk about, and it's a big thing, is our rail station. I added on the waiting room right here. I'm a fan of trains and train travel, so this gets a little extra love and attention in my builds. I put this up to keep the mobs out, at least the hostile ones. Now, right here is where the track's gonna run. And I feel like what I'm gonna end up doing is I'm gonna build a railway that encircles these mountains all the way around. So a loop with no other stations. And that's fine. One of the things we haven't done in this game is make serious use of a redstone circuit. And part of that is because you have only the most basic redstone capabilities. Now I say basic, but that is not to say unsophisticated. So redstone is an amazing addition to Minecraft. In some ways, it deserves as much attention as mining and crafting. One of the things, really the only thing I'm going to do with it though, in this game, is build what I'm going to call a switch house in round 17. As I've explained before, as you come in here, there's a section of track right here. And if you have a redstone signal activating this junction, it'll change whether the track curves one way or the other. And so when I take a trip, maybe I want to go around this way, or I want to go around this way. Or when I take a trip and I go around, I want to come back in. I need to switch the track. So somewhere in this area, I need a lever. A lever that I can hit if I want to change the track as I approach to go the way that I want to go. It's a little intense trying to hit that as you come in. That's part of the fun. I see a creeper. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to build this building. And inside that building is going to be... I heard that egg. Inside that building is going to be a three-way switch. You know what a three-way switch is? Anytime you go into a house... Where's that egg? Anyway, anytime you go into a house, like a staircase, and it's a long staircase, and there's a light on the staircase. I often have a switch at the bottom and a switch at the top. And when you flick the switch, it changes the light from on to off, or off to on. And if you're at the top, it does the same thing. So on switches like those, the switch, up doesn't mean on and down off. It means whatever it happens to be. So anyway, we'll see how that all works. But that uses redstone in a circuit in a pretty sophisticated way, which just shows that even the most basic redstone components are pretty amazing. So it's a circuit that we're going to build that I'm not sure I could even quite explain. I may try. It's just tricky. It's a real testament to the craft that went into designing this game. Okay, let's head toward the port. Alright, so maybe this isn't a great idea. There's a couple of these guys. Nope, they're shooting each other. That'll work. Oh my gosh, that's quite the battle. I'm missing. Yeah, they're shooting each other. Let's watch. You guys are worse than stormtroopers. Okay, down to one. That was great. That's going to be irritating. Need to get out. If I open that door, it's going to nail me. Gonna make a run for it. Well, let's just talk. This is the start of the Mirror Lakes loop trail. Oh, you're gonna get it. Ha. Okay. Is that it? Any more nonsense? Okay. I got more nonsense on the way. So in round 16, we walked this short trail around the lake. Oh, see, that's what happens when chickens try to go under the bridges in the water. We walked this trail and did a trail survey. Next round, I think we're going to do is we're going to build this creek that flows under that bridge right there. Just a small detail. We got lights in the lake. Still a technique I'm working on. It's best when you can't see the torch. That's just the challenge. Gotta hide the torch somewhere. Alright, let's see. Where do we go next? Let's head to the port. Carefully. Oh, there's a creeper inside the port. Did he come out? Oh, he got stuck. Maybe we better take care of that. So we may be able to. Perfect. It's not well lit up in here. Oh, day is coming. Alright, so in here, also need a ladder. This port, like so many others, we are working to gather seeds from kind of the field, the lawn. And we're going to try to turn this into a wheat farm as well. We'll probably need better lighting. So we'll see. We'll see what works. Around 17, I need to add a clay quarry. A storage area. Oop. I just shot my cow. Oh, he's stuck. I'll just let him burn. Oh. Somehow. Okay, I guess he was in the shade here. Okay. We're gonna add a clay quarry, probably right here. Which then will activate us to go on a coastal expedition in the following round, where we finally get to go and dig out that clay that we found so long ago. Here's our reed farm. What's fun about a reed farm is you could start with one reed, let it grow, and then you have two, so then you have three. You let them grow, and then you have 6. And then you plant those out. Pretty soon, you have a geometric progression. We're going to fill in all of this kind of pockmarked area with sugarcane. We'll put torches on these blocks to keep it lit. And then we'll have source material for creating further wetlands with reeds in various places. And then I'll be able to collect a stack of reeds and keep them here. And once we achieve a stack, we can research and see if in fact there's anything you can do with reeds other than use them in a decorative way, which is in and of itself a very good thing. There's so little plant life in alpha, but there's enough to make things look interesting. Okay, the port trail itself has a little work to be done on it. In the next round, we're going to install this creek, finally. In the last round, we built this one. Hooked it up to our creek. It was flowing this way. We rerouted it. I'm going to get some sugar cane. I'm going to put it in here, so this will be a nice little wetland to walk through, or walk by. And, yeah. So, around 16 again, we rerouted this creek. So, it's going to be, I think, a very pretty little garden-esque area. Took a lot of work to get this all together. And I think it makes the place look really good. Alright, let's head towards Bellevue. other creek I added. A little straight. One thing I enjoy doing with trails is seeing how far they can go without going up or down. Try to keep them as level as possible. And the reason why that's good is because then you get a feel for the landscape. I mean, I could have made a dead straight path. I could have go up and down every little hill, but I'm following the contours of the land. I made use of the fact that all this water around here only allows you to walk from LC to Bellevue in a couple of places. Way down there by the beach, here and there. And this place just kind of magically spills you out into what was a natural ditch. I did very, very little to shape this. Just plant trees over it. So, when you let the world gen limit you or guide you, it really adds to the game. Because then the world gen becomes like another player or another NPC, or I don't know what you want to call it. We did a trail survey of this estuary overlook trail in round 16. In round 17, I might put a kind of a creek in here. Not too much, but then I also want this to be a wetland. So, again, another great little spot to add a little bit more aesthetic beauty, given the limited blocks that we have in this early version. How many times have I stared out across this landscape at night, waiting for the moon to set, seeing the dark shapes of hostile mobs traveling in their circles. Alright, what's going on here? Around 16, we made a last-ditch effort to find a viable cavern, and it did not play out. So the cavern qualifying expedition is once again, probably for the third time, dead. In spite of all this area and all these caverns, not one led to any substantial cavern system. Yeah, last round we also brought a saddle that we found in a dungeon, in a monster room. And we found a pig, and we rode the pig. But it didn't work out very well, because that pig was a hangs about the fort pig. And that pig wanted me to suffocate on dirt as I walked through a 1-block high passage. So, next time, choose a pig out in the open field. Alright, crossing off my list here. Let's talk about the Bellevue Mountains Trail. What do I call this? 3 fingers point? They do. Alright, so in round 16, you see that little finger, thumb, whatever, sticking up is where a cavern or a deep ditch exists. I call that teardrop viewpoint at the top. You see a little lava fall, a cavern across the way, and 1 red flower on the opposite side. I created a little viewpoint with a sign. And next round, we're going to create a little side trail called the Red Flower Cave Trail. It will lead from the Bellevue Mountains Loop Trail down into a little short cavern. Kind of seems like an interesting little hideaway, worth calling out. Okay, let's head to the port. Here's our lighthouse. And as with all our ports, we have our efforts at collecting seed underway. We'll probably get it next round. Then we'll see about creating a wheat farm. I may need to fence in some of this. That might be necessary. We also built this clay quarry. This is where we store our clay. In the last round, we achieved a full stack of clay balls. And as I did the research, I discovered a recipe for brick, if you smelt it. And I believe, although I could not confirm, here, let's go ahead and do a test. Yep, and we'll be able to craft ourselves the clay block again. So, that resource is now able to progress. And I'm pretty sure that the bricks you can use to create a brick block. We've got most of our building done, and only now do we get to a brick block. So maybe we will decide that we need to do some upgrades, perhaps, like to our house. Using brick in some cases where we might just use stone. So we'll see. Because we need to give brick a purpose and a use. But yeah, it took a while to get there. I, in playing this game and working out my system, hopefully next time, in my next game, I'll be a much quicker path to bricks. There's one of my boats, and another boat. In the last round, we did coastal expedition along this coastline. We found that it curved and went out to here. It's pretty much shorter way back. There was also one point over here. There was like barely one block that connected this land with the land beyond. I am tempted to open that up. Maybe dig it out so that we could boat down that coastline and maybe even around that coastline. I only want to go out as far as I can go in 2 days. So I take a boat back to day 1 and walk the coast and then take the boat all the way back. As you know, there are problems, I think, with boating out too far in Alpha 1.0. That when you start loading chunks, your player can get separated from the boat, and then you have to restart the game. So we worked around that by loading the chunks by walking, and then you can take the boat back and out again. So more coastal expeditions to come. I might even open up a little bit more opportunity because it's such a small connection. Okay. Let's go talk about the work on the Bellevue Divide Trail, if we can. It's on the Bellevue side. Okay. Oh, sheep. In round 16, I built Hobbit Pond. Saw fit to label it. Put a little water in here, some down there. I added this little creek. It actually took care of 2 or 3 small tasks. Now, the next one is going to be my first surface lava feature. This is one of those pockmarked areas that now I feel like this has got to be a place where lava oozes out of the ground. I could put lava here, 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 and then let it flow as far as it wants to go. There's no trees around here, so I think that'll work. Oh. Yeah, that's a cavern, but I don't think it goes deep at all. These things remind me of something called lava tubes. If you've ever been to my part of the world, there's a couple places you can go and you walk through a lava tube. It's pretty cool. Just a place where lava flowed down quickly, found its way underground, created a tunnel. That when the lava stopped flowing and it drained all the way out, it left a tunnel behind. Anyway, there's going to be lava features here. Well, we got through another night. I'm going to take us to Cascadia. Oh, you know what? At this point, it would make more sense to go back out this trail. We'll take a look at one part in Divide. Maybe we'll end up in Cascadia. I hear a skeleton. I see a spider. Are they activated? Oh, darn, they still are. Can you become unactivated, maybe? Oh, the skeleton's activated. No, that's not the right word. I don't like my odds. Are you done? Okay, he's done. And you're done. We'll get there. This is the Bellevue Divide Trail. It's hard not to pick up a mob drop, especially when you've worked hard and looked forward to getting them. Alright, so we're in Divide. And we built what I call Lower Creek. A couple of branches that come together, flow under this bridge, down almost to the estuary. We'll see what we do with this area as far as another lava feature, and how these water and lava might play together. Alright, it came to my attention that I did not put up a boundary sign between Bellevue and Divide. Not quite sure where to put it. Let's leave that. Maybe we could put it here. We'll leave that as a task for round 17. Just to put up a sign. That's it. Okay, well, let's take a shortcut back. We're going to want to head to Cascadia next. These videos get longer and longer. But I thought that maybe some people would rather just watch these round review videos to see kind of the progression and not watch all the other videos where I do everything. I don't know if I should make a separate playlist, but yeah. Alright, here's the LC Cascade Trail and LC Divide Trail. What do we have here? LC Cascadia Trail. We need a boundary sign. I think we got that. That's what we did around 16. There's the boundary. But we need to do... Oh, and we did the trail walk as well. We just took the slow walk along the trail to admire it and its sights. So we did that. Now, also, let's go to the Cascadia Divide Trail. I thought I had put something down to build a junction trail sign here. Yeah, well, we'll see if that pops up on my list. So this connects LC to Cascadia. Cascadia hunting blind off of that direction. This takes us back toward Divide. This is the cutoff trail. In round 16, we built a small creek under a bridge that leads to a pond. Cutoff Creek. Round 14, we have the daunting task of building falls around here. And they're going to come down, join up into a big pond here. Then I'd imagine, yes, it would make all the sense in the world. It's really, this pond would just flow out, so we might need to put some soil in here, create a small channel for the water to come through to join this pond. So this will be an upper pond and a lower pond. So round 17 we'll put some cascades into Cascadia. Even over here. Well, actually, I might leave that a creek. I mean, it'd be easy to fill this whole thing in. But turning this into a 2-block tall, 3-block tall pond, that'd be a bit of extra work. I don't think I want to go that far. I accidentally crossed off the wrong thing. Let's see if I can take a shortcut here. We hardly ever walk out here. So we get a closer look at our port without having to travel out to it. There's the Cascadia port, connected to the hunting blind by a landing. We take a boat to get out here. Nice view, huh, chicken? Okay, we added a clay quarry. She could probably not see here. To the island. Which opens this up for coastal expeditions. So that'll be fun. Follow this coastline. Maybe even in here, just to double check that there's no clay. And to see the sights. And as at all ports, we're working to gather a stack of seeds so that we can do a wheat farm. Just a moment. Okay. Oh, one more thing. I've decided it's time to develop what I call a waterway. A waterway is just a trail through the water from one point to another. For me, that trail is going to be simply setting up what I call reed lamps, or what I call later sugarcane lamps. I could just put a torch on the ground, put a couple of reed plants in front of it, and as you know, those reeds light up bright, bright green, 3 blocks tall, once the reeds grow. I'll use that as points, so when I'm boating at night, I know to aim toward them, and they mark the edge of the land in the water. And it'll help guide me through this channel, so I can get from the landing to here. It just lets me know that if I keep following the reeds, that I will get to somewhere. So that's another project for round 17. I think we'll have enough reeds by then. We can start sharing them out from our reed farm, even as we wait for those reeds to grow. I guess I'm getting a little impatient with my reeds, because I have a lot of different uses for them. Okay, we better get going. We got just a little left to do. And as we walk across the landscape, it would be remiss of me to not mention that we achieved our full stack of eggs. Unfortunately, upon researching, there's really nothing you can do with eggs at all in Alpha 1.0. You can't throw them. You can't bake a cake. So, there you go. But it was fun, I think, still, to collect them. We had to pay attention to our feathered friend, take interest in them, and watch their antics. In round 17, in this chasm, in the mountains of Divide, I felt this small waterfall and pond. In round 17, I'm going to hide that torch, so it'll be an even more faint and eerie glow. Additionally, I built what I call the Upper Chasm Trail. But before I talk about that, I've decided that here, in what I call the Small Maw, let's take care of this situation. I should get those arrows. One of the things I've learned from Alpha 1.0 is the beauty of the recessed lighting, hiding the torch around a corner, put a piece of glass in front of it, and you get a kind of lamp, a little bit like maybe a soul lamp in later versions. Just light nonetheless, not as bright or sharp, kind of like the inner light. In round 17, we're going to add lava to this area. Doesn't exactly fit the pattern of a lava seep, but I decided to give it a try here. Round 16, we built this upper chasm trail. And in the next round, 17, I'm going to install some of that recessed lighting I mentioned. These torches here are just for construction purposes. Eventually we'll build a viewing platform on the slope. Yeah. Keep an eye on that guy. So we'll take out most of the torches. We'll have trail will be lit. And it will be a relatively safe passage through an otherwise dark or mostly dark area. Lava will light this side of what I call the small maw, or otherwise what would have been a dark, open mouth like overhang. This is the large maw, or great maw. I don't know. I'll have to give it a name. Alright, well, that actually is that. As the hostiles accumulate, let's see what kind of a shot I can get. This is really dark. And we'll try it. It's probably not the greatest thumbnail, but that's where we're at. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Maybe this is a better one. Let's do this. And I hope to see you in the next round. And as always, I'm almost forgetting. Thank you so much to my regular viewers. I have for a long time learned not to count the views, but to count the watch hours. And I know a very slowly growing number of you are contributing to those watch hours. And I don't care if this channel even becomes a paying channel compared to the fact that I know that some of you watch. And thank you again for that. It's enough. It's more than enough. Thank you. So, anyway, looking forward to having those of you who enjoy this follow me as I continue another round. Take care.